STCPod and the opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the presenters therein, without any affiliation or obligation to any establishment, either real or imagined, even if they wanted it. Now, get ready and hit start to continue.
Let's test that audio there. How we doing?
How we doing?
You're STCPod 182.
Syphilis.
Gonorrhea. Dysentery. I think you can turn that down to the C hair and we're good.
It was a fat C hair. It's down.
Big old fat curly Q C hair stuck between your teeth.
Don't start this way. We're
Hey,
trying
guys.
to attract new listeners, not shun them away.
That's how we get
Scare
them. Well, we don't want to be boring like some other podcasts.
Like what?
I don't know. Hey guys, you're listening to episode number 182 of STCPod. This episode is brought to you by the Barrie Game Exchange, which is happening Sunday, May 6th at the East Bayfield Community Center from 12 until 4 p.m. For all your information, feel free to check out www.barriegameexchange.ca. Admission's $5 at the door. Kids 10 and under are free. If you want a little bit of the VIP treatment with the Champagne Girls and Caviar Dreams, that would be $10 for the early admission. Remember to check out the STCPod table. We will be selling there along with, I believe, 3 other members of the Cartridge Club. As my partner is not even near the mic.
What?
I was just promoting how STCPod is going to have their own table. You'll probably see mainly me, because Bill doesn't like to hang around the table as much, even though he's got stuff to sell.
What do we got? 2 episodes left before that happens for real?
Well, no, 1 after this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This one and another one. Now, 1 + 1 = 2. So I was thinking 2 episodes.
Well, no, because this one's already being listened to, so it'd be like, how many episodes do we got left? 1.
Well, maybe 1 would be in parentheses +1, but the parentheses don't matter, so it's 1 + 1 = 2. Does that work for you?
I tuned out.
Should we tease anything?
What we're going to be selling? Well, I know if I could tease one thing, I'd like to tease that I'm going to be looking for Atari and Coleco games on the DL and on the cheap.
So am I.
No, me first. So anybody looking to sell some or get rid of their Atari or Coleco, I'm more looking for Coleco. So hit us up at the STCPod table, especially if it's before the show.
Yeah, you'll be able to get to us before the doors open.
Absolutely.
So we can make bulk deals.
Let's get rid of that garbage. We'd be more than happy to take that garbage off your hands.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of which, we can say this show is also brought to you, by the Retro Nonsense YouTube channel. Duke has come out with his next episode of Stuck in the 80s, and this was the big one we've been waiting for. Supersize episode on something right up your alley.
A little bit of TF action.
Big ol' episode on Transformers, so check that out over on Retro Nonsense.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I knew he'd be coming out with that sooner than later. So, interested to see. I'm curious to see how long this series is going to run.
Well, forever.
I
Goldberg's
know.
is going how long?
Yeah, but I don't want Duke stuck in the past forever. I'm sure his family misses him, and he wants to get back to the present day.
I want to see some Commodore action. I want to definitely see some He-Man action, because that was He-Man was more my style.
That's what is it? Commonplace, very typical. Let's get some obscure stuff.
Really?
Yeah, let's throw in some Texas Instrument action.
Let's throw in stuff no one is interested in, except for Joe, because he's an expert on all
But I'd
that.
like to see a little bit of Commodore VIC-20, maybe with a little bit of River Raid action, a la cassette tape player, or maybe a game that was right up my alley and my jam, Mega Race.
No, that's not true. That was my game. That was my first video game that I would say that's like my game. That's like, this is my favorite game, Omega Race. That was like the first video game that...
What's the gameplay like?
It was great.
No. Describe it. I want to see if you know exactly what Omega Race... You've probably forgotten.
No, it's like Asteroids, where you're a little ship and you have a thruster and you bounce around the screen. There's a square in the middle and you bounce around the perimeter of it, shooting all these enemy ships and stuff as you go around. And if you keep yourself in a straight line, it's nice and easy. You just bounce back and forth in a straight line. But if you start going crazy and doing curves, it just goes wild.
I like the River Raid.
See, you have no idea.
I know exactly what it was. I have it.
Yeah, I know you have it, and you refuse to give it to me, even though it means nothing to you. It's a piece of plastic
I had it
to you.
as when I had the system.
Whereas
dude.
me, I would put it in a frame and hang it on my wall. No, Joe just, I don't own it yet, so I'm keeping it. You don't know anything about it. It means nothing to you. I don't care.
I just told you it was one of the first games I had.
No, I don't think so.
Anyway, Atari and Coleco hit me up. Bill and I are going to be having, I think we have a full table because we got that much garbage to get rid of. But it's not garbage, it's cool stuff. But right now it's garbage because it's super frustrating storing everything.
Maybe there'll be like a contest or something at our table.
All I know is rock bottom prices. Everything must go at the STCPod table.
You don't want to tease that maybe there'll be a really exciting contest going on?
Maybe.
Or a draw?
Maybe. Might be a raffle for some prizes. But along with that, super cheap prices because everything must go.
And you said you'd be selling weed brownies too for extra side cash.
Did I?
Well, keep that on down low maybe.
Oh.
Weed brownies shaped as Mario.
All I know is I'm bringing a cooler full of pop and a nice big Italian salami prosciutto sandwich for lunchtime. I'm going to be mowing on as people are looking at the wares.
And people may remember that you did invite yourself over to my house for the night before so we could organize and get our situation ready.
And
guess what happened, folks?
Well,
guess what happened?
I've got a birthday party to go to that Saturday night.
Woo woo! Chook 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 chook. Woo woo! Chook 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 chook. That's the excuse train.
No, that's true. My wife threw a curveball and planned a birthday party.
It's interesting.
Which is cool because it's for somebody that I care about.
You could have said, oh, you know what? We're definitely doing this birthday party, but let's move it to a different day because I actually have stuff happening
Well, this was the
weekend.
day that most people could come, so it's for and it's for cousin Chuck, co-creator of www.nosnob.com, where if you're a dummy and don't know what wines to buy, it's an excellent site that will tell you all his choices, what he recommends, and everything on that site is under $20. So if you want to impress a lady but save money at the same time, this is the site to go to. nosnob.com. Nosnob.
Birthday, you say?
Yep.
Oh, happy birthday, Chuck.
That's not his official birthday. It's within a couple days of it, but
Always appreciate the Chuck. Helps us out quite a bit.
Yep.
Why don't you bring him to the show?
he doesn't want to spend 4 hours at a video game show.
I'm glad you made that decision for him.
I did. I can guarantee he doesn't want to spend 4 hours at a video game show.
Is that all you're spending? You're again exiting as early as possible and disappearing, even though you've told people on the socials that you're up for meeting people and...
I'm there from 11 until 3.
3?
And then when that 3 o'clock,
Doesn't the show go till 4?
It does. I'm doing the arm swipe of whatever's left into my bin, and then I'm drop kicking that table over onto the ground and walking over it and out the door.
Wow.
I'm Swayze.
So, again, you're not going to...
No, I'm not going out after. I'm going home to my family.
Why? Are they leaving somewhere? Are they going...
They
you won't be
would-
able to see them the next day or later that night?
No,
Is there something happening?
Well, the kids will be in bed.
The kids will be in bed. Are they
This
going
way, I can get home in time for dinner and relax.
Are they going to bed in a different country?
Can I get home and relax?
Well, this happens twice a year. You think maybe all the people have come out to see you and
They
hang
got
out
from
for
11
dinner afterwards would appreciate you putting in the tiniest bit of effort.
You got that covered. I know you do.
You could put the tiniest bit of effort in.
Listen, I am putting the effort in. I'm waking up, first off, I'll probably be out late Saturday, so I'm going to be tired.
Great.
And I'll be waking up first thing and driving an hour and a half to your fucking house.
I think it's just unfortunate the way you treat
No, I'm
people.
telling my story.
But that's the way I think.
Hour and a half to get to your house. Then we got to pack stuff up. Then we got to get to the show. No, then you're taking me out for breakfast. And then we're going to the show.
Please, everyone, feel free
The table will be
to
met.
come by the table or before 3
First
and
off,
tell Joe your thoughts.
it's our table.
I please
So
welcome.
where are you going to be?
Welcome
Are you even
everyone
going
to
to
come
be
by.
on the table at all during the show?
Yeah, of course,
Are
because
you
the
sure?
second I leave a table, you leave it as well. So
Because I've been hearing talk that you and someone else are going to be out hunting on the floor, and Joe can watch the table.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
Who?
I'm going to put a for sale sign on all your stuff.
Just everyone, please come by and make Joe feel welcome, because we got to figure out what his deal is. This is ridiculous. Anyways,
what deal?
I'm not here to bust your chops for an hour. So let's just be positive and move on to some fun stuff. Can we do that?
Listen, as long as you're not going to talk about what TV shows you're watching, it'll be fun.
Look, here we go, folks. Fun stuff right after this. Word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, Dean Lasagna here from Round 2 Gaming, and I wanted to quickly jump in to let you know about one of my favorite gaming podcasts, Flock Talk. Miles, Chris, and Catherine put on a fantastic show for you each and every month, covering themed topics ranging from puzzle games and escape rooms to gaming aspirations and best of moments. Whether you're into video games or board games or card games, I guarantee you'll find that geek culture enjoyment you're looking for. Hilarious hosts, witty banter, top-notch quality, Flock Talk from the Flock of Nerds crew. Check them out on iTunes or head on over to www.cartridgeclub.org to join in the fun.
All right, we're back. That was great. Whoever it was that I put into the sponsor spot.
I'm sure you dug up some new stuff
I'm
there.
sure I didn't. Hey, I got some news, though. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, that wasn't forced segue at all. Hey, I got some news.
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah. Actually, let's let people know what's happening right now. We love to tell people where and how and why we are. Currently,
What?
4:30 in the morning, we're doing a record face-to-face, 4:30 in the morning, and Joe is chipper. He's chipper. He's awake.
It's a whole new perspective in life.
Whole new perspective,
Yes.
really. I'm impressed because you insisted on eating before this, which is usually
Hold
a
on,
big red flag.
I ate like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, well, I don't like to see you eating before, because eating, that's like turning the ignition off after you're
No,
done
it's
eating.
not. It was back in the day, no longer.
Oh.
I've found a remedy to all my issues,
Oh boy.
as well as I'm seeing a naturopath.
Oh my god.
Is that what they call it?
No.
How do you say it? Naturopath?
A naturopath?
Naturopath person.
No. Come on. This can't be true.
It's true. And they solved the issue.
What issue?
The sleep issue.
Really?
She put me on some herbs.
This is not true.
No, you know what happened? It's happened. I have an appointment booked, actually, as of Friday this week, so whenever you guys are listening to this. Yep, I go pick up my sleep machine.
For real?
For real. For reals.
You need to take photos, because no one will believe this.
Oh, I will, with this nasal pillow bullshit that
Yeah? You told me you want the nasal pillow?
everybody's talking about it. So I will pick it up.
Is this the real machine, or is this some loaner thing?
No, that's what it is they want me to use it for a 2-month trial, so I can get used to it, they got to calibrate it. I got to go back in for another sleep test with it. So it can be calibrated again, and then I can get the machine. I don't know. I got to go through this whole process just to have it covered by insurance.
Well, yeah. Well, what happens is they have to take a guess what your pressure should be coming out of the machine by your body mass and your lung capacity and all that. And he makes an educated guess. Okay, your machine should be at this pressure. And you'll live with that for 2 months, and it might not be right. But it gets your body used to having that complete air circulatory thing going on at night. And then you'll have to go back for another sleep test, and that's when they monitor you and figure out exactly what pressure to set it at. So they'll want to see you keep having episodes until they put the pressure at the exact spot that stops you from having episodes. That's what you have to look forward to. One more night of hell.
Yeah, great.
That's not fun. I'll give you that.
Well, it wasn't fun the first time. That was for sure.
Well, it's like I said, it's way better for you with the Sean hairline. You don't, because all of the probes they stick on your head.
Doesn't matter.
It's
You still
way
got
worse
that
when you have hair.
You got that jizz goo that they put on it, the probes.
Yeah, when you have hair, it's like you have about 20 pieces of gum stuck in your hair.
Yeah, you got the something about Mary look going on.
I don't know what stuff they use for you, but for me it was more like that kneadable eraser, it felt like.
Yeah. What do you think it looks like?
If what you produce is that thick and kneadable, then you need to make another appointment.
What can I say? I'm very manly.
Yeah, that's... that comes out in a glug, not a rope.
You mean it goes down in a glug?
Wow, okay.
So I hope you're happy.
Well, it's weird how you have to set up a whole appointment. I don't know why you just can't go get this thing whenever you want. It's weird.
What do you mean? You can't just walk in and pick it up.
Yeah, their office is open every day. I'll be there.
Yeah,
to
they're
go
busy. It's like an hour appointment. I have the whole sit down, show me how it works.
Oh my, such a... Okay.
I don't make the rules. I just follow them.
All right. Well, I'm happy for you. Good to hear. Is that it for you? Is that all you want to bring?
Yeah, I'm done. You can.
That's it?
You take care of the rest of the show. I'm gonna Swayze this one. Ghost.
Well,
maybe like you did a secret record that I didn't know about. I'm sure you can handle this one.
I have yet to do a secret record.
Because I was listening to our Doppelganger podcast.
STC2?
STC2. STC Channel 2. Being Retro Fandango. On the way in, and Kevin let slip that, or Vox did, that Kevin had done something with Bill, and I only know one Bill, and I think Kevin only knows one Bill.
You already knew all about this.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Well, then refresh my memory.
I took the big kid to a volleyball tournament in around where you live, actually, not close, nearby where you live.
Right.
And remember, I had said to you, I'm going to a volleyball tournament very close to your house on this Saturday that we're both off. I'm going to be in your neighborhood, really close vicinity to you, very close on this day that we're both off, and I will have nothing to do floating around. And you're like, yep, have fun with that. So then I moved on. And
I didn't say,
okay,
yep, have fun. I said,
no invite there. So
I said, okay, I'll be with my kids.
Yeah, right.
When I'm not here, I'm with the kids.
Wow, these kids are lucky
They
to have
are.
100% attention that you glow upon them. It is quite something. It is quite something. You should have your own TV show.
I would prefer the word bathe upon them.
So actually, this tournament was in the same town that Kevin and Sarah live in.
Yeah, which is nowhere near me.
It is.
That's 40 minutes
pretty
away.
much right there.
So that's right next door.
Pretty much right there.
It's 40 minutes away.
It would have been nice to have like afternoon coffee or something at your house. Anyways, so I said
Why
to
is every shit got to be at my house?
yeah, well, when you have a house like that, it's nice to visit it.
Stop saying stuff like
And
that.
then anytime you go to somewhere like that and you don't have to buy a ticket, you want to go. Anyways, this was in the town where Kevin and Sarah actually live, so I said to them I could do some pop-ins throughout the day when I have some off time during this tournament. And they said, and Kevin's like, yeah, sure, come on over. Actually, let's get some mics going and we'll talk about records and music and stuff like maybe stream it on Twitch or something. We'll come up with something. And Sarah wants to be involved, and we'll all talk about our records and stuff. So that's what happened. It was streamed on Twitch. It was...
I missed that. I must have missed that tweet.
Yeah, obviously.
I must have missed the invite over.
So, like I said, you put the kibosh on any of that stuff. So it has not been released. Don't know if it will be released right now. It's just a bootleg. If you find it, it's a bootleg version. There's no official release yet of this.
I believe they were going to save it as an evergreen episode.
No, that was something else, I believe.
Oh, what was that now?
I don't know. Nothing I was
sure?
involved in. No, I think him and Sarah did something.
All I know is there's a lot of secrets going on,
Oh, my God.
and Joey's not happy.
Really? Because Joe does not want to be involved in anything.
I
is
do.
What we
I
get.
just don't have the time.
You really? Exactly.
Though things will probably change come the fall because my daughter will be in all-day junior kindergarten. So
How will that be any different from you not being with her all day anyways?
well, I just won't feel as guilty. I just mean that I'll have like free reign of running around doing whatever.
Yeah, okay. Well, speaking of little kids, I was out for a nice big walk with my littlest, and it was, we had that second Canadian winter that happened in April, and then shortly after that, everything started to melt. So we were out on a big walk, and the melt was just streaming down the sidewalks. It was melting so fast, all this ice, and you could see like rivers of water just streaming down the sidewalk. And you know what that reminded me of? And I told her about it. I said, have you seen this thing in school yet, this little short movie? And let me see if this jogs your memory at all. Do you remember something called Paddle to the Sea?
Did it have to do with Indians?
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe they didn't show that at my school.
National Film Board of Canada film,
Right.
30-minute film. I told her all about it, and after our walk, we went home and I called it up.
Was it
and
one of those
we
animated
watched it.
ones?
No,
Oh.
no.
Nope.
It's from the 60s.
I don't think I saw it then.
It starts off where this lighthouse keeper discovers this wooden canoe, carved canoe, and it's got like an Aboriginal fellow carved into it in a birch bark canoe. And then they go on to the story, where did this canoe come from? And he was like way out in the Gulf of the St. Lawrence kind of thing. And then they go back to where this canoe was first carved way up in Lake Superior by this young lad who carves this wooden canoe and sets it upon, because he found out that he lives like above sea level. So he sets this canoe just on a snowbank and to see what would happen. And as the melt happens, the canoe slides down the bank into the closest waterway. And then we, the viewer, follow the canoe as it travels through all the Canadian waterways all the way through the St. Lawrence River. No?
Nope.
You didn't see this?
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
Really?
Why? Do you know something I don't?
No, I'm sure a lot of Canadian kids saw it. I saw it in school. Like, when I was my daughter's age, like grade 1.
Maybe if you pull up some footage.
This thing just stuck with me all this time for some reason. So you follow this canoe, it goes through the Great Lakes, and it gets trapped in, ponds, and a beaver tries to get it, and then it eventually goes over Niagara Falls, and all this, and gets stuck in some polluted water. And I don't know why, how it was shot or something, just stuck with me all these years. It was based on a novel from the 40s. The novel was written by a guy named Halling C. Halling. And this movie was directed, shot, and edited. He did everything by a guy named Bill Mason. And that film was nominated for an Oscar that year for, live short. And that filmmaker even did the carving of the canoes. And he had to, carve many, many canoes because they lost many of them, right? Especially going over Niagara Falls. They weren't finding that one again. Mm-hmm. And it's a really iconic Canadian film. And actually, one of those original canoes is in the Canadian Museum of History. Like our version of the Smithsonian.
Just not as cool.
Can't believe it. I know some listeners.
I'd have to see the footage.
It's one of those typical National Film Board movies,
I know.
Where you can almost hear the projectors reeling in the background.
Yeah.
It's got that audio that whines, music. Anyways, you can find it on YouTube if you want to see it. It's called Paddle to the Sea. And people let me know that I'm not crazy, that I'm not the only one whose memory of this stuck with them all these years. But hello, you still with me?
Yeah,
you're glossing over already. See, I shouldn't let you eat.
I was glossing over, but I'm looking at you.
Eat.
I'm looking at you.
But I did tease last episode that we were going to talk about YouTube channels that bigger YouTube channels that I check out on a regular basis that I think people might enjoy as well. So we all know about our friends' YouTubes, the little independent jobbies. We always promote those, but I'm going to talk about the bigger ones.
Great.
You got anything you want to say?
Well, I didn't know we were doing this, so I guess I'll just sit back and pass out. Wake me up when you're done.
No, because this is stuff that me and you watch together like sweethearts.
What did we talk about before this?
Oh my God.
What was it called?
Don't worry about it. Paddle to the Sea.
That's it.
This is what you promised me this overnight record would not be all sleepy because you had everything under control.
You were paddling me out to the sea.
Well, what can I talk about that's more exciting?
Couldn't help but passing out due to the nice lulls of the waves as we gently ride our canoe over the falls and out to the sea.
Okay, one of my new favorite channels out there on YouTube is Kevin Nealon's channel, his YouTube channel.
Oh, yes.
Hiking with Kevin. We all know Kevin Nealon from Saturday Night Live fame.
You forced this on me.
And it's his little niche on YouTube, and really not a lot of people have discovered it yet. He'll grab a celebrity and they'll go on a hike. Everyone in LA loves hiking, right? So he goes on these famous trails and takes a celebrity with him.
Yep.
He's had big guys too. He's had everyone, and it's Sandler and all those guys. Who else? Who was his latest one? Martin Short was a great one.
Anybody relevant?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
everybody.
You know exactly what I mean. Martin Short, Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
How about any one of the Avengers maybe on it? Anybody important? Any big wigs?
Of course, Conan's been on it.
That was going. A good one. I'm still looking.
Anyways, that's Kevin Nealon's channel. I think it's just called Kevin Nealon, if you want to look that one up. And this is a classic one. The First We Feast channel. Hot Ones, where the guy interviews a celebrity while eating a series of hot wings.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Well, yeah, I'm letting other people know. So he gets some comedians or entertainers or celebrities, and he can pull off an interesting interview because as they are going along, they are eating more and more hotter wings. I think there's 7 wings they have to get through. And they go from just regular, like, Tabasco sauce all the way up to killer hotness. And he's had some good celebrities, too. Of course, Artie Lang was on there. He looked horrible, but he made it through it. And I think the funniest was, not the funniest, but the most ironic was, I'm gapping. The comedian I just said we should go see. He's coming to Toronto.
Jim Gaffigan.
Gaffigan was on there, and of course his whole shtick is how much he eats, but he couldn't get through all the wings. Penn and Teller were on it. God, I'm just gapping with names because it's like 4:30 in the morning. Charlize Theron was another interesting one because she was like the strongest eater I've ever seen. She could power through it all, and
I don't believe that these things are that difficult. I know they're hot, but I think anyone can just power through eating a super hot wing.
You got to watch these. Like,
I watch it.
Gaffigan tapped out. He's like, I can't do it anymore.
All you do is just eat and chew and shove it down your throat.
No. And they tell you what the Scoville ratings are of each hot sauce.
Schofield.
Yeah, but Charlize, man, she was good because she's like a foodie. So she's like, this is just, I hate this sauce because it's just being hot. There's no flavor to it. And she'd like a different sauce that was even hotter, but it had flavor to it. So she was fine with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, and while these people are in the weakened state, he can hit them with some good questions. That's another good channel.
Well, I don't know. I'll admit, I think half the questions are good. He's gotten better. But again, it's not one of those things, I think, where he can really do like a, like an old style or old school Stern kind of interview.
No, they're just really fast,
yeah,
quick
they're
answers.
They're more fun kind of.
Yeah. The internet is full of these weird little niche things where they get a celebrity to do something weird. And a lot of it seems to me corny, but some of them are kind of entertaining, like this one. And for those of you that missed it, it's the First We Feast channel. And the series is called Hot Ones. And another channel that is my secret obsession, I'm going to tell you about now, is Steve 1989 MRE Info. Steve 1989 MRE Info. And this is a guy that goes and on his YouTube channel will he'll open up military rations, check them all out for you, and then he will eat it. And it doesn't matter how old it is, he will try it. His latest video, he ate a ration from I think it was the Boer War. So it was like 1911 was this ration. And he ate the beef product in it, which was really wild. It was this wild brick of powdery old beefness that he mixed with hot water, and it made this like beef oatmeal that was over 100 years old. It was pretty wild. He's entertaining, and he has a great use of. He's come up with a great many words to describe what he's eating. And that's Steve 1989 MRE Info. There's a lot of these dudes that are checking out rations and seeing what they taste like and all that. But Steve, I like what he does the best. It's very simple, and he just gets down into it. And he gets some really wild rations from all around the world and all kinds of ages. And it's just cool to see like what a ration was for like a Japanese soldier during the 1940s. You know what I mean?
I forget. Does he tell you how much he pays for it?
He does. He sometimes will let it slip out. They're not cheap. Those old ones, like you're literally buying like an antique.
Yep.
So he does shell out some money for these things, but a lot of times he does get donations too.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining. I think for me, I enjoy seeing what other items they've included along with the food.
Yeah, that's what I like. The accessories are so cool.
Yeah.
You get weird stoves, and you get weird like can openers and weird compasses and all kinds of weird, and cigarettes, right? All the World War II and earlier. Well, anything pre-1960 came with cigarettes, and he tries the cigarettes out as well.
The sad thing is, though, like, I'm sure there's so many people doing this all over the world that they've got this finite supply of ancient military rations. So at one point, obviously it's good if you're a collector of it, because the prices for them are just going to keep going up because the supplies are going to be running out.
Yeah, and you can tell it kind of breaks his heart every time he opens one.
Yeah.
But he saves everything. Like if you peel a can with a key and you have the big metal, thing that you peeled away, he'll save that. And some of them, he said, he goes and resolders that all back together so he has a complete ration to put on display back on his shelf. So he doesn't destroy anything. Well, maybe the contents get removed, but he keeps everything. That's Steve 1989. You got to check him out. And finally, not a channel, but me and you enjoy this. I don't know why I went down a Billy Joel road last week, but we found this concert on YouTube. Billy Joel live at the Old Grey Whistle Test, 1978. And man, was he ever on.
Yep.
It was him in his prime. Like, I'm sure he was coked up because he was so on it, man. He was so on his game. Those piano medleys,
Yeah, classic
instrumentals.
Joel. You know what? I never really got in. Well, aside from his, like, as I was growing up, I think I started noticing him when he had those hits like, what was it called? We Can't Start the Fire and that garbage.
Yeah.
So it was at that time point that I was sort of watching music videos. So I never really knew much about his earlier songs until I've heard him in like interviews with, like Howard Stern's a big fan of Billy Joel, so he's been on the show a couple times and he's been able to play a bunch of music at the Sirius compound, whatever you want to call it, putting on free shows for subscribers and whatnot over the air. So it's through that means that I've become acquainted and appreciate his earlier songs, especially the ones that weren't probably more so, major airplay pieces. Hello? What?
No, he was a major radio hit back then.
Yeah,
man.
but
he was a hit maker.
I didn't know all of his songs. All of his songs weren't hits.
Back then, man.
No, not every song on the album. That's what I'm saying.
Back then, man.
All right, you're right. Next topic.
Anyways, the audio on this is just great, and it's pro shot. I don't know if this was ever released somewhere. And it's Billy Joel with long hair Billy Joel.
I've been meaning to find a way of...
huge fro.
I got to start recording some of these YouTube concerts that are on YouTube of certain artists.
Here we go.
Well,
he's wearing the shirt and tie, like a piano man, and he's interacting with the audience. He's got a great band. It's just a super concert. It's called Live at the Old Grey Whistle Test, 1978. You won't be disappointed if you check that one out.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like when you're at home. Like who knows? Like I've had stuff on YouTube disappear on me that I would watch on a constant basis, like music, concerts, and stuff like that. So I want to start pulling that stuff off and saving it.
Well, I would look for that maybe like on a download service, not off YouTube, so you can get a better lossless audio version of it probably. Because there's tons of, if you go looking, you can get bootleg concerts or something like this that has an actual soundboard recording. You'd get the full download, not necessarily a YouTube download.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. You want to handle that project for me too?
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
All right.
So that's... Oh, and there's the newest YouTube channel out there, we have to mention, of course, it's just launched. It's Joe's channel. We have to talk about Mr. Originalities. Joe, what's your channel name? What's your channel name? It's something. Is it? It's no. I got it. It's Metal Joseph Rocks, right? No,
that was taken. I tried to go.
Oh, it's TF Chasers. Is it TF Chasers?
No, that's
shit.
taken as well. Two choices that I thought about and couldn't get the names. I still can't get the name, but
Is it buried on Megatron?
no.
What is the name of your channel?
Well, if you go to it, it's called My Life in Collecting.
My Life in Gaming, right?
My Life in Collecting.
Oh, collecting. Yes.
Listen, I know you're being like this.
What? I'm trying to.
You're being a little pissy.
I'm helping
Because
you.
you're upset that I started my own YouTube channel.
Nonsense.
Yes.
How could I be?
Well,
how could I be angry at that?
According to the little voice recordings I've done periodically about you ranting about it, I do have audio proof.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I know that our Start to Continue YouTube channel has ceased production while this new channel has launched, but
Nothing has ceased production. Can I have my own identity, please? I'm sorry. I deserve it.
I'm happy for you. That's why I'm mentioning it now. My Life in Gaming. Make sure to subscribe to
No,
that.
it's not My Life in Gaming.
Oh, My Life
See?
in Collecting.
Now
Sorry.
you're just showing how upset you are about it.
No, I'm not. What can we look forward to seeing next on My Life in Collecting?
I've been tagged in a Transformer video challenge, so I've got that coming up shortly, and then I will be doing arbitrary collection showcases from my bookshelves. So I don't know. I think I might do a little audio piece coming up after this next TF video.
What does that mean?
You'll find out.
You'll find out.
I don't want to spoil it. Anyway, the whole channel is just about what I have in my collection, and
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just change the Start to Continue channel's name to Crazy Horse while Neil Young goes and launches his own project. It's cool. It's cool.
Is that what Neil Young did?
Yeah, maybe just call me Stills Nash. Start to Continue will be Stills Nash, and as Neil Young goes off and adds all the production to a new project.
I'll take that as a compliment, being referred to as Neil Young.
Well, Tom Cruise, Neil Young, they're all big stars.
You got lots of names for
They're
me.
all big stars. Hey, you know what? I mentioned this a few shows ago. HBO documentary films were HBO sports documentary. I don't know what HBO had their documentary of Andre the Giant come out.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
So I finally got to see that. I thought that was excellent.
I knew everything about him already, so I didn't feel that I needed to watch this video that I've seen all the content previously.
Would you say
throughout all the years of wrestling?
Would you say you're an expert
No.
on Andre the Giant?
No, I've clearly forgotten a lot.
What is Andre the Giant's real name?
Dude, I said I've forgotten.
What was Andre the Giant's first wrestling name?
The Big Bear.
Jean Ferret.
I don't care.
Well, you already knew everything. Where is Andre the Giant from?
I don't know. France?
Pretty good.
Dude, I don't care. He's never one of my guys.
How could Andre the Giant not be one of your guys? This is
Why
when-
would he be one of my guys? Because he's the biggest? Back then, I was always a Hogan fan, man.
He was a force of nature, and he just all your imagination went to that guy, like, because he was so big, and he had this aura, even though, he did turn heel at some point, but he just seemed like the nicest.
I'm sure he was
gentle giant you could ever meet.
I'm sure
kind
he
of
was a
thing.
great guy in person. I just didn't care for him because I think he couldn't speak properly, so I didn't care about that.
Yeah, that's probably it.
But I was a Hogan fan. A lot of kids were back then, man.
Yeah, every kid was for sure. But man, I don't know. That's when I was watching wrestling, when Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik, all that stuff. You know, when it was more about I don't know, it was less about smashing beer cans over your forehead and stripping dresses off of girls.
What are you talking about? You're talking about ECW?
The shit you like. The Austin Powers and
What?
yeah, Austin. What's his name? You know, when wrestling went
Stone
crazy.
Cold Steve Austin?
Yeah.
That's not when it went crazy. That's when he revitalized
That's when it went
it.
stupid. When it's all about the chat before the match. Whereas back in the day, it was the match.
Well,
man.
heaven forbid
The story was in the match, not the yelling at each other on the microphone.
Heaven forbid you develop and become more than just a wrestler, but use all your talents. And having,
yeah,
and
'cause
having
they're such great
and
actors.
having a prologue of dialogue just helps further the storylines.
Of dialogue, of smushing beer cans.
No, that's not just that.
Yeah, that was really good.
He never smushed beer cans anyway. He just drank them.
Yeah, okay. Those are great. That's great.
You missed out, unfortunately, on a great period of wrestling.
No, that was
But
just
I know
stupid.
you
It
like
was
to-
just stupidity, actually.
I know you like to live in the era of like Mad Dog Russo and what's the name, Vachon the Butcher or whatever. Mad Dog Vachon.
No, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
No.
that's the era that you're from, like the 40s.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just told you what I liked was the Hogan and the Andre the Giant.
For someone who says he just likes wrestling, it's strange how you don't like UFC matches.
I don't no, it's way too much. Look at my testosterone in that shit.
What do you think wrestling is about?
It was more like a comic book back then. It was like a comic book come to life, these guys.
No, it's more comic book when it was like in the Attitude Era.
The Attitude
Who
Era.
was more comic book like when you had The Rock and Stone Cold together?
Stone
or
Cold.
Vince McMahon, who was not a comic book character, totally was.
But you could see through that bullshit like a glass. Like, because it was so fake and stupid.
The whole business is not real. You just get so mindset on certain pieces of it that you're not willing to change.
Anyways, this documentary had everyone in it. Everyone. Oh, no, there's no Iron Sheik. I would have liked to hear from the Iron Sheik. But I had Hogan and, like you said, the Vince McMahon kind of admitting that he just used up people and spit them out when he was done with them. Great story. Of course. And then they told that big story of which WrestleMania was it when he did turn heel and he had to fight Hogan?
Was it number 4?
Yeah, I think either 3 or 4. And he had told Vince before that, he's like, I'm done. I can't do anything anymore. And not just I'm done wrestling, I'm done with life. Like, he was in so much pain because like his joints and shit was still growing, but his organs had stopped growing. You know, he would not get his condition looked after. He could have stopped his condition. He couldn't have cured it, but he could have stopped that excessive growth at some point, but he didn't bother with that. So his knees were going, his back was going. They had everyone from The Princess Bride there as well to talk about it, because he was in a shitload of pain for that. But that final, McMahon, talked him into doing that last WrestleMania, and how it would be so huge. He would battle Hogan, and they would create this whole story of, Andre needing to fight him out of jealousy because he was never given a championship. Even though Andre the Giant wrestled for, I think it was 16 years, undefeated in quotes, and he was never the champion because they didn't want to have to take that championship away from him at some point because everyone loved him so much. And wrestling being a story, no one gets to be the champion forever. You have to lose it at some point. Anyways, I'm getting off track. Vince talks him into doing this WrestleMania, and I think we all remember that match. You know, Hogan tries to slam him right away, and he can't pick him up, and he falls backward, and Andre falls. Anyways, they go on. Hogan goes on to describe how that entire match was written around what Andre the Giant could do, because he could barely stand, right? So, you know, that bear hug thing, that was just because that's all Andre had left in him. He couldn't, like, pick up Hulk anymore or anything like that. So it's like, here, you're going to have to bear hug me. And remember, they bear hug, and it looks like Hogan is passed out, and the ref's picking his arm up, and his arm falls down. And the announcer's like, if his arm falls down a third time, that's it, it's all done. And then he goes to drop his arm, and Hulk's arm stays up, and the crowd starts going crazy, and that's when Hulk comes back to life and actually manages to body slam Andre the Giant for the win. And that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was a sad story near the end of, of how his life was and how miserable he was.
And then somehow Andre the Giant keeps wrestling even after that. And they showed matches after that, and he was so downhill. It was sad. He would do a wrestling match, and one hand would constantly be on the ropes just to hold himself up. It's like Vince using this every drop of this man until he can cut him loose. And that was. Of course, he did the Princess Bride. They told stories about that. He was in so much pain, like all of when he was like holding people, they were still wired up, so he didn't have to hold the weight of them. Even what's-her-face, he could not catch her, even though she weighed like 80 pounds. What's her name? Just seeing if Joe's still awake.
I don't have my phone. It's what's-her-face.
Yeah.
She was married to Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Robin Wright.
Right. Yeah, you got it.
I was going to say Robin Wright Penn, but
they interviewed her, and like she has that scene where she jumps off the...
Yep.
And he catches her, but she had to be all wired up to do that. And scenes where he was doing something else, and they actually had to wire up Andre the Giant so he wouldn't fall over when he was doing... Anyways. Of course, he passed away way too young. He did have a daughter, and he left everything to her. He had a ranch in North Carolina, I think. He ended up leaving that to her. And you did meet her in the documentary. So, great documentary. Andre the Giant by HBO Films.
Yeah, cool.
It was good. You would enjoy it, even though you think you know everything about it.
I've just seen so much about him that I don't know if I want to watch it anymore. Especially when I know what the outcome is. So
it was very inside. You got to meet everyone, his handlers, and
especially with how the wrestling business is, everyone loves everybody once they're gone, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess there was nobody there who disliked him. Well, but like Hogan had stories of the guys Andre did not like.
Yeah, I don't mean that. I just mean like also like with how Vince was, and like you said, use him up till he can't be of any more value and discard him, kind of thing. But Vince has been doing that for forever with the wrestling business. So,
it for the wrestling fans, momentarily go back to it. The history of it. It also explained how back in those early days, wrestling was just made up of all these little fiefdoms around the nation. There was no national...
there's territories.
Territories, yeah. So it gets into all that, even if you're just interested in the history of wrestling.
Yeah, and how Vince destroyed the territories by buying up all the superstars. So the territories literally had no one left to showcase. And then he ended up just basically buying each of the little promotions off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how he won the wrestling wars, and he did the same thing with essentially when WCW folded, right?
Well, he bought out his father too. That was not an amicable thing. Because his father was the big guy until
Vince
bought him
Senior.
out. Yeah, he's the guy that discovered Andre the Giant, as he saw Andre was in like the Montreal area wrestling. People heard about him. Yeah. Anywho,
Anything else before we wrap this bad boy up?
is that all the input you're going to give for an entire show? Your CPAP on Friday, and
How I'm going to rock the Barrie Game Exchange. Check out the STCPod table. I'm looking to buy Atari and especially Coleco.
wow, look at all of this.
Cheap.
You got nothing. Great partnership.
Good.
Look for
All right.
the real story
How
on
can you say I've got nothing when I brought me?
my Life in Collecting channel.
And how this show would be. What would the show be like without me?
I do want to say I did start the Lost in Space show on Netflix.
Well, another show you started without me.
Well, how am I going to do it with you? Are you going to crawl into bed with me as I watch it before I
we
go to
know
sleep?
that you won't let me sleep in bed with you. So
Yeah,
it's
shocking.
It's a good thing I'm not coming down Saturday night because you would throw me in your basement.
Yes, on
I told you I don't sleep
in
in
a real
basements
bed.
by myself.
You don't sleep in.
Basements by myself.
There's a beautiful pull-out couch down there,
Doesn't
and
matter.
you would be on your own. You wouldn't have to worry about
I
anyone
don't
walking
want
in
to
on
be
you.
on my own in a basement that I'm not familiar with in the dark. When I got creepy noises going around of houses creaking and cracking and settling. And who knows? Who knows what's going to come down the stairs?
Did you ever not have like a basement apartment or anything
No.
like that? Of course not. Okay, surely back in the day, you and your young lad friends would go to someone's basement and like play video games and shit like that, and maybe have a sleepover in their basement. That never happened?
Where more than one person would be in the basement with me.
Oh, you'd have to have someone there.
Yes. Which is why I said, I'll just sleep in your bed with you. And you're like, nope, that's not happening.
Obviously, that wasn't happening.
Well, why not?
Why would it? That's crazy.
Why would that be crazy? Why would you not want me to sleep in bed with you?
Oh, I don't know. Are you insane?
Are you insane? Are you not secure about yourself? I'll sleep on top of the covers. I don't care.
No, why would I give up my personal space because you won't sleep in your own queen size
Listen.
bed in the basement?
There could be two dudes in one bed with two CPAP machines going. Imagine that picture. Well, what do you mean giving up your space? What are you doing? Rolling all over the bed?
Yeah.
Just sleep on your side.
No, I get to sleep anywhere I want. Diagonal, sideways.
Well, that's
I
why
go as far as my
that's
hose
why
will let me.
Even if there wasn't the birthday party Saturday night, I wouldn't be coming up because of these sleep conditions are ridiculous.
No, and then I offered you the couch in the living room,
Yeah, and
which
then
is full size, and I offered you, if that wasn't good enough,
You got a brand new couch, so I'm not going to wreck it by sleeping on it.
how would that wreck it?
Who knows what could happen?
Well, I'd put the sheets on there. It'd be like a bed.
This
You put a bottom sheet and a top sheet and protect it all up.
no, I just would have brought my sleeping bag over. That's all.
Your sleeping bag?
Yeah.
You can't really do sleeping bag on a leather couch. It slips right off, right?
No,
Yeah, it's too slippery.
who's slipping off?
Try it.
I don't move when I sleep.
Well, that's true.
Alrighty. So again, guys, that's it. Thanks again for tuning in. Check out Bill on Twitter at STCPod. Check me out at AC Decepticon. We got our YouTube channel, youtube.com/start to continue. We got an upcoming pickup video that you guys can check out. as well as check out my YouTube channel,
Dude.
My Life in Collecting. And what else is there? Oh, yeah. If you're looking to buy stuff off Amazon, go to STCPod.com. Click on the Amazon link at the top of the channel. We get a little bit of kickback from Amazon that we use towards financing our empire. Mainly paying for our podcast hosting site. Correct, though?
Good work, man.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Check us out at the Barrie Game Exchange, Sunday, May 6th. Stop by the STC Pod table and say hi.
Post it.